biggest challenge about just getting ready to face this Ravens defense?
Man, obviously I think it starts at the front. The front is really good. Their secondary is really good. They just they play really tight coverage. You don't see a lot of hole separation on film from other teams and stuff, and so they play really sound all together, and they're physical. Their linebackers fly around, and like we've been saying all week, they sort of remind us of our linebackers, in terms of the intensity, how they fly around, and all that. So, yeah, gonna be a great challenge for us.
With them, does the picture change maybe more dramatically than other teams you face pre-snap to post-snap?
I mean, we have our plan and stuff, and so going into it, we're just gonna continue to play our style of ball, and obviously there's some things that you have to be ready for and take into account every play, with their players and what we're trying to get done. So, yeah, I don't know if it's going to be a drastic change or anything, but we're going to play our way of ball, and we have to understand what we're getting into with their defense. So.
In preparing for Patrick Queen and Roquan Smith, how much of an advantage has it been that you've been going up against Fred Warner and Drake Greenlaw all season?
Yeah, I mean, obviously dating back to camp and stuff, we got some really good reps against them, and how they play, their drops, how aggressive they are in the run game, all of it. And so, I think for us, we understand, sort of, how linebackers that fly around and play and that are smart, like what it looks like, going against our guys and stuff. So, but at the same time, they're a little bit different in how they do play. There's some similarities, but we got to just go in and play football, and we'll find out on Sunday, or Monday night.
You played playoff games here in the past, so are you expecting kind of that same atmosphere, and did those help you of a game of this magnitude where it's going to be such national spotlight on you? Yeah, we played some playoff games and stuff last year. That was good for all of us and our experiences and stuff, in terms of some home games that are some big games. But at the same time, I feel like we've played in some pretty big games already this year, and it's the NFL. I feel like guys or people around the country are always tuned in. At the same time, it is Monday night. It's on Christmas, so those are all little things that get added to the table. But I think more than anything, we're excited for it. So.
If you had to make the case for Christian McCaffrey to win the MVP award, what would you say on his behalf?
Yeah, sort of like what I said before. Like he does it all. I think he's the reason why our pass game and our play action pass and all that kind of stuff opened up, because he sort of sets the standard with the run game, and then when we do pass the ball, he's there in our play, and he catches the ball, he makes guys miss, he can go up against safeties and linebackers, and make them miss and stuff in the pass game, and then he scores touchdowns. His stats are crazy, so he's definitely a valued player, and I think the most valued player. So.
During the telecast, they said that Drew Brees was your guy growing up. We always thought it was Dan Marino was your guy. What was your background with Brees? Was he somebody that you watched and wanted to be like?
Yeah, my dad was a Dolphins fan, so for him growing up, he was like, man, Dan Marino's got a quick release and all that stuff. And so growing up, like I tried to throw quick like Dan. But then as I got older, obviously I wasn't old enough to watch Dan play, so Drew Brees was a guy that I knew I was going to be, similar height with. And I just respected how, he was, quick with his feet. He was very smart. He anticipated throws, and he won games, with his mind. And he was a fierce competitor. All the guys around him loved to go to war with him. And so, yeah, I guess if you got mixed up in that, like, my dad tried to teach me to throw like Dan Marino, and then I ended up watched Drew Brees. So, yeah.
Have you been able to talk to Brees at all, bump into him anywhere?
I at a Super Bowl event last year, just real quick. It was more about my arm and rehab. He went through a UCL deal back in his career, so but that was about it.
Have you talked to Snead about him at all?
Yeah. Willie's told me a lot about him and stuff, and obviously Willie says that he thinks we're similar, and obviously in terms of our height and all that. But like I said, the anticipation, the footwork, the mindset going into games, the competitiveness. To hear that come from a player that played with Drew means a lot. So, yeah.
We've seen your team take off since the bye, maybe some adjustments, whatever. What did you get from the bye? Did you felt like
anything adjusted, and where your level's been since the bye?
I mean, sort of just a mental reset, It was a grind for me, getting surgery and then rehabbing my butt off and trying to get back for game one. And then you get back for game one, and then it's just a grind for 9 weeks straight, of all ball at the same time, trying to get my arm strengthened within all of that, handling the highs and the lows. And so to have that bye week, in the middle of the season, being able to sort of reset was, I think, huge for all of us, but especially for myself. And then come back sort of reminded of, all right, you got to be hungry. You got to play. This is the NFL. Anything can happen any week, and you have to give your all every day. And so sort of being able to reset to that kind of mindset was huge for me.
This is one of those big games that, as discussed, and the Cowboys and Eagles and the Jaguars, maybe since you were coming up with 3-game losing streak, were big kind of what are the Niners made of games, and you blew out all those teams. Is that, I guess, a reflection of this team being able to rise to the moment, or how do you explain kind of destroying really good teams?
Man, I think, it comes down to, I feel like, just our preparation. We have such an experienced team, guys that have been through a lot here, been to NFC championships and Super Bowls, and a squad that has been together years on years. This is my second year, but you got Fred Warner, Eric Armstead. You got guys that have been here and have experienced it and understand what, big games look like and what it takes. And so that's a testament to that. The organization, the coaches, everybody's like ready for those kinds of moments in games. So I think we sort of sink back to that. That's our, that's all we know in terms of being ready for those moments and what it's going to take. So it's my second year, but I've learned from those guys, and how they do it and handle it. So do we say it's a big game, we're going to put up this? We don't know. We know it's going to be a dogfight, and we have to be ready and willing to do whatever it takes for 4 quarters. That's how we look at it. I did get a new set of clubs. I needed some. Yeah, shout out Christian. Thank you.
Back to quarterback, also help his MVP case that maybe it took a little heat off you for, you're not quite at the resource level that he is in terms of giving.
Yeah. Financially, I wouldn't be able to cover that right now, but no, shout out to him. Everyone loved it. So, yeah, thank you, Christian.
What do you admire about how Lamar Jackson plays the position?
Yeah, man, he's a competitor. At the end of the day, man, he's a winner. He's gone into that place and, just has given them life, since he stepped foot there his rookie year. Obviously his playmaking ability, being able to throw the ball, and then, just at the end of the day win. You got to respect him and what he's done. And I was a big fan of his, last couple of years when I was in high school and college watching him. So, yeah, it's going to be tough for us, but I'm excited for it.
Brock, with Monday being Christmas, when do you tell family and friends, or when do you turn the page and switch gears to start focusing on the game?
Yeah, I don't know. It's for us, it's Christmas time and stuff for our family and friends, which is great. But at the same time, man, we all here understand, we have to do our job and play, and we have to do what it takes in terms of our preparation, our studying. Nothing can change our routine. We've been in games like this before. We've had to play on Thanksgiving, so those are all things that our family and friends understand, and we got to do what it takes to win. But at the same time, being able to celebrate Christmas and stuff too is huge. So, yeah. I don't think so. Yeah. Well, no, we have them planned, but I don't know if we're gonna dish them out yet. So, yeah.
When are you gonna do it, Christmas?
I'm not sure.
Happy New Year cards.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Thanks, guys.